Hello and welcome to Kicking People in the Teeth Incorporated. This time, AngelLoader. Stuff that's been happening, every program comes to that time in their lives when they obey cliches brought on by their parents. And also, the stuff I've been doing is kind of unexciting, but I thought I should at least say something. So, here's AngelLoader. It's not too much different, but, this happens. Now, you might think this is a rather, silly thing to be working on. It's just fancy. But the thing is, I'm getting ready to beginning to think about thinking about implementing like filtering like New Dark Loader has, where you can just cut the list down and filter it by various things. And I'll just jump straight into Tech Talk. This is a data grid view in Windows Forms, and I was thinking of using Object List View, which is a third-party thing that is like List View, but different. Y'all know totally what I'm talking about. But it turns out it's not really appropriate for this circumstance. So, because it's like weirdly slow and stuff, so I'm going to keep using this. I'm just going to have to do more manual work is the thing. And like this silly stuff that I'm doing where you drag there instead of like dragging and not seeing the line and stuff. I'm doing this to try to like make sure that this control here, this list, is going to work for me. Like just to make sure I can solve all the quirks. It's not supposed to be there. So like I'm just like, yeah, I can solve this quirk, okay, and then there's this weird quirk where sometimes you drag and it doesn't quite work. I'm not sure if I can make it happen. I'm going to look into that. I just want to make sure this is going to be good, and then I could start filtering and seeing what I can do. So like not much is different on the surface. There's stuff behind the scenes, like it was doing this really slow thing when it was loading to try to get the FM's list and fill it out and like merge it properly, and I've made it fast. If it has to hit the disk, that's still slow, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. If you've got a ton of missions on a slow hard disk, well, there's nothing it can do. So that's that. And like another thing, these icons here for the game, these used to actually be kind of slow, relatively speaking, to grab these icons and put them in the list all the time, making it be just a little laggy to scroll when you have a full screen thing, but I fixed that. Also, it lets me use larger versions of the icons so that if anyone has high DPI and it makes the window stuff bigger, I don't know if that happens, but if it does, then these icons won't be blurry. So yeah, just, more things, because I'm probably going to want more icons. Like this, I'm probably going to want to turn that into like a check mark or something, and then there's like a rating. Maybe I'll keep that a number, but like, there's some column in here where I'll want like check marks and stuff. So boring, but it's like maintenance stuff that I got to do to keep it fast, because performance is one of the goals. Because I really think like this should be fast. It should be stable. Like there shouldn't be weird quirks happening if I can help it. It should be like instant like that. And when you filter, hopefully you just type and it should just like be instant. So yeah, although filtering is going to select stuff, so maybe it won't be instant because for the scan, you know how I was all bragging about the speed of the scan? Oh, it's 36 seconds or whatever. Well, what I've got now, if a mission is like just discovered and you click on it, even if it's scanned, it has to do a thing. If you click on it, it has to cache the README. Like it'll go into the zip archive, extract all the README files and stick them in a cache folder, so that it can then load them like instantaneously from disk here. I could do that as part of the scan, which would make the scan a little bit slower. I don't know how much, but I mean, it would really be moving some work from one place to another. And I mean, this, like having it be slow the first time you click and then fast the rest of the times works now. But when I'm filtering, if you're selecting a bunch of new missions, when the filter comes in, it'll be laggy if I have it like now. So maybe I will put that stuff as part of the scan. I don't know. It's stuff that I'm thinking about for later. But yeah. And another funny thing that's unrelated to anything really, but before I had presented this to the public, I was just working on it. Like I work on these things like on the scanner you can see on the GitHub, on my FinPhoenix GitHub, my FM scanner. I've just been working on it for no reason. Like nobody sees it. It's just like get into doing these things. And like, since I have all the free time in the world, I just like do all kinds of crazy stuff to just make it super perfect and add all kinds of stuff nobody really has time for, but I do. But then when I show it on the forum, this funny thing happens. It's like, because for some reason I'm trying to look like halfway respectable or something, I feel this weird pressure from within to be like, oh, this is kind of tricky and this is kind of hard, and well, I don't know if I can do this. I'll think about it, and like try to be like reasonable sounding, almost subconsciously, even though there's no reason for me to say that, because I'm clearly going to go way overboard with like all kinds of detailed stuff in here because I've got nothing but time. So I don't know. That's just a fun observation. But now to uncut in and go back to the original, I just made it more stable behind the scenes for corner cases no one's probably ever going to see. Like if there's a name collision now, it'll be properly numbered like FM Cell. So, boring stuff, I guess. And I've just like done some little things in preparation to do big things, but it's kind of whatever. But I mean, I wanted to talk about one little thing randomly, and just to end on a note that is like super not lame. Okay, so random Taff would be all like, I hope he implements the small image thing. Put like a question mark somewhere here. The small image from AngelLoader. I don't know where it is. But whatever. He's like, I hope he implements the little image that authors could put in AngelLoader. So like, AngelLoader was actually the first loader I ever used. I mean, yeah. Like this, I think that this for a long time was the only way to play Thief 3 missions, but I just used it for Thief everything when I first got into playing missions, and like, man, this thing is slow and buggy. Like, it is unbelievable. I mean, it's got all this functionality, but yeah, it doesn't even scan the old missions properly for games sometimes. Oh, T2 or not. And like, it takes forever to fill out this list when you start it. But anyways, never mind. Here's like, okay, random Taffer. Enough of the ranting. Let's get down to business. Random Taffer. Did you mean this icon here? And then this? Because like, if there's no, to make sure not to crash it. If there's none, then it just puts a placeholder. If there is one, then it puts it at the top of the README and down here. Now, I don't really have the space to spare to put it down here, but I could try to put this at the top of the README if that's what you mean. And this image, your comment kind of implied that like authors were specifically putting a file like specifically meant to be displayed here. But this, I done a little digging, and it's actually... It is the thing that gets displayed when you're on the title screen, that box up top, that rectangular box at the title. So like you go here, main1.pcx or .whatever is the thing that's displayed in game. So it's really just grabbing that and sticking it at the top of the README. So if that's what you mean, I could try and do that. I mean, I could do that. It's kind of a pain in the ass, actually, believe it or not, to put something at the top of an RTF box like that. But yeah, So that's an exciting thing. AngelLoader isn't going to be like